Oh my God, we've started! Yes, we have started. Welcome to my safe word is more. My name is Al Jackson. I'm joined by my wonderful, lovely, talented, chill-ass co-host, Corinne Kaplan. How are you today?
Oh, I am very well, sir.
I can tell you're a vision in pink.
I know.
You look like the pink Power Ranger if she got woken up in the middle of the night and had to go to a fire escape and ask for help. You look very tie-dye.
Yes. So I would like to say that my mom, much to her credit, my grandmother was, like in grandma days, they didn't go to school. Like women didn't go to school.
In grandma days. I remember that chapter in history class.
Well, my grandmother was very well off. And so she went to a fashion institute in New York City for college. But like most grandmas didn't go to college, right? That's a thing.
Right. Yes,
right?
They called them women at that time.
Yeah.
They didn't call
my grandma
18-year-olds grandmas.
Is like an expert seamstress, obviously, 'cause she went to a fashion institute. My mother didn't inherit all those qualities, but my mother tries to carry the torch. So I send everything to my mother to be shortened because I believe if you're not pulling it down constantly, it's too long. So in high school, I had my cheerleading uniform shortened to right below my kuka. And my grandmother did it for me.
Really?
Yes. And my mom was like, "Are you sure that the school is fine with this?" And I was like, "I got legs. I know how to use them." And so they shortened. I mean, when I came to cheer practice, because everyone else doesn't have an expert seamstress on hand. So I come to practice and everyone's skirts look kind of, frumpy. And mine was real whorish. So anyways, this dress,
it's interesting that the vice president and no one complained about that at the school.
No one said anything.
No one saw anything because they were like, that's noticeably shorter.
It was so aggressively short for a child. And by the way, yes, you're wearing bloomers because the idea is you're doing things where the skirt could fly up. But you could see my bloomers with just me standing there. It was that short. And no, I don't think, maybe they didn't know that they thought I just had a too small skirt. I don't know. Anyways, the dress that you're currently
people knew
looking at, I saw a really good sale. It's just a t-shirt dress, guys, that you can't see. It's a tie-dye t-shirt dress from Gap. But it was too long. So I sent it to my mom and had her shorten that bitch.
Wow.
Yeah. So
now, does your mom say what are we going for? Are we going for let's reel this guy in, or I have him? Let's get that ring. How did she describe? How do you describe the measurements?
Well,
is this a get 'em girl measurement?
She always says, "Is this going to be a shirt you're wearing with leggings?" And I'm like, we both know it's not.
Your mom's like, "Let me live the lie, please."
Yeah. So I just tell her inches and then she does it and sends it back. So yeah, she did a little number on this one. Okay. I am ready to kick it off. I don't even know where to begin
you
because
told me you have a lot to discuss.
I do have a lot to discuss.
So gather yourself.
Yeah. I just don't know where to start because I'm excited. Okay. I'm going to start here. So when I told you guys the story on the last podcast that I was at, I don't remember the entirety how much I explained, but I was explaining that I went to Grizzly Rose. I go there all the time. But I left this part of the story out because I didn't have a photo. And I'm going to tell you what happened. So I went with, as Al calls it, my representative. There's somebody that I hook up with from out of town that's every now and then here. So we just, it's kind of how Sex and the City, she calls him Mr. Big. This is my representative. Mm-hmm. Okay?
I like
you
it. I got you.
So my representative and I and my friend Michelle and her boyfriend Mac, the four of us go to Grizzly for this concert. Okay. While we're there, I see the guy. This is a callback, so if you haven't listened to earlier episodes, go back and listen because it's a really good story. It's the guy that I dated who wore his socks, and it was because he had a weeping wound and he did not want to stain my sheets. The man also had no health insurance, and his entire job was buying and selling cars on Facebook Marketplace. In addition to all of that, when we went to brunch, he forgot his wallet. Okay? And he drove a Vespa. So all of these things.
But he's extremely good looking.
He's like a Nordic god.
And that's why everybody wants to look good.
And there was something about he does kind of. He's a funny person, I thought. I saw him, as the story goes, I saw him around. I lived in this high-rise apartment building, and I would see him at the pool all the time, and he was always in these, very, he has thick ass, a hockey body. He's thick, nice ass, nice legs, but he wears these, short, tight bathing suits, but, don't come across at all as ill-fitting. I don't know, he was fun. He would wear swimming trunks with flamingos on them or whatever, very loud shit, which I'm getting to the point here. All right, so now we've done a recap over this gentleman.
He's peacocking.
Yeah, but in such a fun way. Like, I always found the way
it's only fun when somebody's hot.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you're like, look at this.
100%, 110%. So I found him very attractive. I thought his vibe, and he literally didn't know I existed. And when I met him eventually at Grizzly, he was like, I was like, oh my God, we live in the same building. He's like, we do? I'm like, oh wow. I have tried to ask him questions at the gym. I have talked to him at the pool. I have been to the clubhouse. He lived on my floor. Like
I've been hanging out at the clubhouse for you. There's nothing but pool in there and beige things.
Yes. So keep in mind, my friend Kelsey would be like, oh, he's down at the pool. And then I would run down to the pool and be like, hey now. Okay. So this is the guy. So I went through a very, very bad breakup as I was moving out into my house. And when I knew I was moving out, that's when I was like, I got 1 month here. I'm going to hook up with this guy. And so I was not interested in anything long term. So keep that in mind that like from my perspective, I just knew he was a young piece of ass. He had like a 2-bedroom with 4 people who were living, and he lived in this like tiny room with a keyboard. Like he like made like a room with a curtain. I mean, this was not at all like I was not trying to date this guy. I just thought he was fun. So
hot. Stop calling him fun.
Right.
You don't think he's fun.
Right.
You think I'm fun.
Yeah.
He's
no.
hot.
No. He was dumb as a rock.
Okay.
Okay. So I go with my representative, Michelle and Mac. We all go to the Grizzly, and I see out of the corner of my eye. And Michelle has never seen what he looks like, but she knows the story really well. Like she was around when it happened, and so I was like, "Holy shit!" And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "Weeping wound is here." And she goes, "No," and I said, "Yes." And then she just looks over, and you could see the biggest, like thickest, she knew exactly who he was. And then she looks down, and this is what he's wearing on his feet. And this is why I didn't want to tell the story, because I was like, it's not going to be that funny if I don't have the picture, because you're not going to understand what I could possibly be talking about. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Am I going to see something gross?
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't want to see the hole through the foot.
No, but this might be why he has a weeping wound. He has made his own. He took Crocs and he attached them to cowboy boots, and he made Croots. And when Michelle looks over, she's like, what the fuck is on his feet?
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And I just didn't think there was any way I could possibly give the story without the picture. And I'm going to get to why I have the picture.
And I see the...
You got why I have the picture?
Okay, yes, so I see why you have the picture.
Yeah, tell them. I'm so excited. Yes. Tell the people what you just saw.
Okay, I just saw a man in the bathroom, it looks like, who's very proud of his footwear. He's got on a trucker hat. He's got on basic T-shirts and shorts, as you do when you go out to a nightclub. And
he was wearing Daisy Dukes at Grizzly, by the way, also.
Yes. That's the difference between white and black clubs. Like, there's no black clubs. They don't let you in if they don't like your shoes. This guy comes in with 2 different kinds of shoes on both feet.
So he made his own cowboy boots with Crocs.
But he made them, but they're out of... Look, here, stop trying to overtalk me because you're trying to defend your little fake boyfriend. Okay?
Not my boyfriend.
Let me get this out. If you're going to create those shoes, okay, that's shout out to Grandma School Fitness Institute. Very creative. But you use new pairs of 2 shoes. You can't use old Crocs. Those Crocs look like the Crocs that they fish out of like a river when your car has been there since 1989.
Agreed.
Yeah, they're filthy. The cowboy boots were just like, it's just like the top of the cowboy boot and the base is just Crocs. So I get, he's trying to say, and again, this will make your point. When you're good looking, people go, oh, you're fun. Anybody else trying to pull that off, you would not set one of those nasty Crocs into the front door before they were like, sir, go home and fix your life.
And if I may, because I know how he's really poor, I bet you, although I'm sure I'm sure this part I know, he had to have found the boots. So what happened is, because he's probably got a large size foot, right? He's like 6'5". He went to a Goodwill and there were boots that were whatever size. And he was like, I know what I could do. I'll buy these for $11 and then I'll turn my like, that's what happened here for sure. But it makes such a splash. Like when he was walking around, first of all, my representative was like, that's somebody you. And I was like,
and your representative knew?
You
told him? Why?
I don't know. It was a bad idea.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know what to do. My head. Well,
what you do is don't say anything.
Well, wait. It was not a possibility to not say anything because he came right over to me.
And what he could? I'm sure he was just cordial. I'm sure he didn't plaster up 2 pictures of you guys together. No, would you like to see a video, sir? Yes, it's 9 minutes.
I felt like it was obvious. He was. I mean, Michelle kept going, why is he constantly under 4 feet from us? Like, it's a massive place we were at. And he was just like, right there, right there, right there. And so, and I just kind of like wanted to like distance myself, just given my situation and whatnot. All right. So I didn't think I could tell you guys the story because I didn't think I'd be able to explain those weird shoes. I mean, explaining without saying it would be really hard. Well, then I am yesterday on my favorite site. Say it with me. Are we dating the same guy, Denver? And someone posts this picture of him with the boots. That's how I have it. And the group member says, any tea on him? We are meeting tonight. By the time I got to it, it already had 45 comments.
Shut up.
Okay. So I'm just going to read some of the highlights. Okay. So first person, he's definitely interesting. Never went on a date with him, but he got my Snapchat and sent unsolicited ass pics, which I know because he did that to me.
Ass pics?
Ass pics. Ass. He's got a nice ass, but I don't know in what world that if you're not on Grindr, like that's a very bizarre thing to do. He might also be on Grindr.
Is it? Does it make more sense if he is on other websites?
It was odd.
Shout out to Field.
I mean, what's Field?
Field? How do you not know about Field?
It sounds familiar, but I don't.
Field is it's a kink site, but it's more. It's not like, yes, there is, I think, BDSM and all that, but it's more like if you want to be part of a triad or. You have like
no, that's why I wouldn't have.
It's like, hey, we're a couple looking for a lady, and a lot of non-exclusive, as you do.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't be interested. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up his Instagram.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
He's really into his ass. Describe what you're looking at. So his regular. By the way, you asked me before this started. Why does Instagram take posts down? Why is this allowed up?
That's sexism, and its phone number is above his ad. Do you see? It says, "How did you miss it?" Okay, let me tell you guys how focused Corinne was of this ass pic that isn't that great. It says Corinne's just looking at the cheeks, but around the cheeks,
it's full cheeks.
Is a yellow cardboard cutout where there's just the hole for the cheeks, and above it says, "How's my driving?" with his phone number. Which is a Wisconsin number because it's 608. So it's like
Well, okay, but
how'd you miss that?
I don't know. I'm confused. Could you explain why your ass would be on the? Like, why is that funny? I don't get it.
He's an exhibitionist, clearly.
But it's not a Halloween. You could have done something where
Yeah, he's not a comedic genius. No, this is all he had. He was like, how's my driving? Get it? And then I think everything just leads to like, and then I show my...
That's the Vespa that I promised episodes ago. So I'm not going to release his name. I don't want to get in trouble.
And he's wearing the same Crocs in these.
Oh my God, the Crocs without the top.
He just, okay, so he used the same, so these Crocs must smell. Oh my goodness. I think that's why he wears shoes with holes in them, because there might be some G-funk coming out of those feet, because like an open wound that's like infected.
If
Do
I
you
may,
understand what that smells like?
Yeah, well, if I may, you saw that most people, well, actually, I don't know this, but I don't know in Crocs. I would think Crocs, you go barefoot like Birkenstocks, but he's wearing socks with them. Man doesn't not wear socks because of the wound problem.
Oh, and I wonder if it's still a problem. I wonder if he's just partying
I
his foot
assure
away.
you, yes, I'm sure he's months from an amputation.
Oh God!
If it's been going on, I haven't seen him. This little fling I had was 3 years ago before I got my house.
Clearly, he still remembered, though. He was hovering.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's not going to forget me. Yeah. I'm just saying if the the condition is still going for 3 years, you're definitely nearing amputation.
Okay, so what are some of the other comments? Because I want to see how it fits in with...
I was only sliding in. This is just the beginning. Now it gets bad. I dated him for a couple of days a year and a half ago. Now, by the way, a couple of days. That's a weird way, right? Like,
yeah. Is this a Nicole Kidman movie? 7 days, 6 nights.
Right, are you an astronaut? Like,
yeah, that's very
every
weird.
day was 7 years. On our first date, he made a few comments about his sister trying to marry a man way older than her for money. The man ended up passing away, and he made a comment about how mad he was that his sister's plan didn't go well. They were close to becoming rich, is what he said. It was unsettling. He also talked about some shady stuff he did with cars.
Yeah.
And I never talked to him after that. Okay, so now we've uncovered... Yeah. I think the sister might be a twin.
Because I'm thinking if he's attractive, considered attractive by most, I'm sure his sister's hot too. And they just might be like those hot brother and sister that came up, but they didn't come up with any morals, and their parents were like, you got to use your face to get anywhere you want, son. And when I say your face, I mean your face. Yeah. No matter what, and all that comes with it. Yeah, I think that these are probably just good-looking, low-level hustlers.
Yeah, well, it gets worse. So then this other girl says, this guy basically stalked my sister when they lived in the same apartment. He'd show up unannounced and ring her doorbell and would just linger by the door, even when she didn't open it. My sister would walk up 5 flights of stairs to avoid him in the elevator. The guy is nice at face value, but super pushy and clingy, and I've seen him walk out of our apartment with a different woman every time. Just putting it out there. Then we have this one. I met him once at Happy Camper. I got a weird feeling he saw my location from my Instagram stories and showed up where I was at.
Stop it.
Yeah. He was insistent on taking me on a date, and eventually I agreed because he seemed normal and funny, but all the date options were date ideas at his apartment. Oh, I know. I lived in his building, so I didn't care.
He's broke. He needs to get so broke. He needs to get broke guy date ideas.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the park?
Someone else commented on that comment and said, I talked to him at Happy Camper one night, and he came up to my friend group and just talked shit about his family.
Yeah. That was when his sister cut it. That was when his sister didn't get that money.
Yeah.
He was already,
He's like, this failure.
Yeah, now he's like, now I got to get hit by a car again.
Yeah. So all this is to say that I know how to pick them, guys. And the girl who posted this, posted it anonymously, but like that was they posted yesterday. By this morning, I have 45 comments. It's probably got more now. He apparently has done a lot of damage in this town.
In terms of what?
He's just...
In terms of laying pipe?
I guess. And also just like, I think that the move is if you were trying to go out with him because you were trying to date him, you can't date him. He doesn't even have his own bedroom in the house. Like, you're barking up the wrong tree. I wasn't trying to date him.
It's weird because he's not going the full boy toy route. Because if he is as attractive as clearly you and 45 other women think he is, and I'm sure more...
His personality kills it.
There are a lot of women that make plenty of money that could just float him.
Yeah,
but but he didn't push that. If he had gone, I want to get out of this car. But I'm gonna tell you everything about me. Me and my sister grew up in a double wide. She did what she had to do. I had to do what I had to do. And where has it gotten me? I'm selling cars on Facebook, and my foot's wide open. So
and don't forget the cavities.
And my mom raised us on sugar, and I just want to do better. Will you help me get a foot into the normal world? And I promise I'll pay you back. He's not going to pay you back.
No,
but
you know that. No, at least so that's not.
He could live for free with you or somebody not as adept as you for like 60 days
he didn't take that approach. I was like, you went to college. Why are you buying and selling cars on Facebook Marketplace? Like, you could get a real job. And he's like, I make more than all of my friends.
That's not true. And also pick better friends.
Yeah. The friends that are also living in, refugee conditions.
You should see the guy on the other side of the sheet.
Yeah.
He's destitute.
So I don't know. I mean, I just like love that came full circle. Like, I'm lucky I didn't tell the story and I waited it out.
Yeah, because it's like you think that you're having this adventure with people, but everybody else is kind of running in circles, and there's a weird thing. Do women have a term for the equivalent of Eskimo brothers?
No.
And sorry, I know
I think
it's like a not untoward term. Indigenous people brothers.
Oh,
you can't say Eskimos.
You
can't. No.
What if you know Eskimos? I know Eskimos.
Do they go by Eskimo?
Yeah.
I thought they went by indigenous people.
I don't fucking think so. I mean, my ex is from Alaska, and we would go to Alaska, and there were Eskimos. I don't know. He said those are Eskimos. Maybe.
Did we talk to them?
I mean, so what he actually...
Because you can do that with any racial minority. No, they like it. Go say it to his face.
Well...
I don't think it's a thing.
Really?
I'm sure. Because I even heard...
that doesn't seem
the
like
Girl
a slur
Scout
to me.
cookie...
the Samoas?
Samoa, you can't say that either.
Oh, come on.
I swear.
They renamed... Well, you know what? My Gaber, I walked in the other day and he has 18 cases, and I was like, what the fuck did you do? He bought like 40,000 Girl Scout cookies, and he's like, well, my friend's daughter was in a competition. And I was like, so he has... I'll look, because he has all of them. I mean, He has a wall. I'll take a picture, you guys. A wall. I'm not exaggerating here. Cases and cases and cases. I don't know why you would ever...
I couldn't have that in my house.
No,
It'd be over. It'd be
over.
over.
You know with me, elf witches. No. I can't even go to his house. He said to me, he goes, just take your Ambien, come back over, because he knows I can fucking slide for about an hour before I really got to be put to bed. And he's like, just come back over. I said, I'm not coming back over here with those cookies.
By the way, Corinne and I obviously talk off the pod, and we were talking last night, and it was like, I got on the phone with Corinne because we were discussing logistics for the day, and Corinne was like, okay, talk quick before my Ambien kicks in. And by the time we were getting off the phone, I swear I could hear it a little bit.
I don't remember. You were fine.
Do you remember?
No, I put a note in my phone about like when I said I would be here, and that's how I knew this morning. You
don't remember us talking?
No.
Shut up. I had a feeling so I talked to Ambien and Corinne.
You did. You met him,
guys. I feel like you guys are not as excited as I am because I knew when I was talking to her, she sounds the same, but you sound like Corinne if you were born 70 years prior and you were like a lounge singer, like on top of a piano with a rose and a red dress, and you're like, play it again, Tom.
You're not the only one, because I've denied it before, because sometimes look, you guys, you're the inner circle. Here's the thing. Sometimes I really look forward to the Ambien, and sometimes I just can't wait. So I take it at like 7 p.m. And then at like 7:15, someone will call me, and it's like too embarrassing to be like, oh, I already took my sleeping aid at 7, so I don't like to admit that. But some of my friends know I sound a little different, right?
You definitely do.
I mean,
it's kind of sultry.
Yeah,
it's Matt a little Amy Winehouse.
Matt has called me before at like an ungodly 5 p.m. and he'd be like, "Bitch, you took your Ambien," and I was like, "No, I didn't."
You take Ambien at 5 p.m.?
Yeah, sometimes I do.
What is? Oh my God!
So there was a point in which I was trying. Look, I am not your role model. Okay, I'm not. So this is what it is.
I don't think that's for you to decide. I think if you're my role model, I admire a lot of things about you.
All right, so
I like people that are always honest.
Here's a diet trick. If you're trying to cut weight before a wedding, I had to go to a wedding and I was like just looking to lose a couple lbs, so I would take it and skip dinner. So you get sleep for dinner, you see.
Oh.
Right.
It's like being poor, but you're rich.
Yeah, exactly. But you have to redose again, so you got to.
You have to wake up and put yourself down.
You don't have to. You will wake up
again like a rhino.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, that's so anyways, where was I with this?
I feel like eventually this podcast is going to be so successful, you'll be able to hire one of those people that
the Michael Jackson doctor?
No, just a blow dart person that just stands in your corner. As soon as you stand up, they hit you with the blow dart. Yeah. You feel it, you grab your neck, and then you go, thank you. And then you go right back down.
Yeah.
Another 9 hours of bliss.
I don't
signing up for open mics.
Yeah. I don't know why the most disturbing thing about Ambien is it gives me poor grammar. Like when Kelly will send us the verbiage too late, and I'm like trying to concentrate. I can't.
And when you said verbiage, you mean text message?
Well, when we put up the description for the show, Al writes them, and then I just review it to make sure everything looks kosher. And I can't do it when I'm on Ambien. I can't I lose my English skills.
Yeah, you spelled what wrong? It's W-A-T.
Yeah.
And you is just you. Come on, Al, do better.
Yeah. It's quite embarrassing. Well, while we're already on my favorite Facebook group, I have
Yes.
I want to touch on the other group. So I'm basically fucking with 3 groups on my laptop on a regular basis. We got Are We Dating the Same Guy Denver? We got Vouch Dating, and then Facebook Marketplace. So Vouch Dating is a site where it's a sister site, if you don't remember this, to Are We Dating the Same Guy? And Vouch Dating is like, I've got a guy I'm vouching for. And the idea is there's so many shitty men on Are We Dating the Same Guy? Let's talk about the good ones. So lots of the people are on both of these. And by the way, I have so many friends that are married that are on because it's just so entertaining.
Right. That's so interesting. And as you were saying this, I was thinking about how they're both different sister sites, but they're both based around the same concept. They're just different. Like, Are We Dating the Same Guy? It's basic it's narcissism, like, are we for me, but under the guise of I'm doing it for you guys, my sisters.
Yes, it's completely.
And Vouch Dating is narcissism, like, I don't want this dirtbag, but it's just based on one person. Like, I really love Corinne. Look, don't let her breath that is staggering stop you from meeting this woman.
And the problem is some of them are like, I met him for a date. It didn't work out. He's great. I'm like, you don't know that. You went on one date. Like, right. I honestly, this is true. at this point when you're listening, 2 pods ago, I talked about the guy that took me to the brewery who was a mess, but very sweet, like all the art and everything. I was thinking, that's the kind of thing where I'd go, he's not for me.
Right.
But, like, I could put him on that site. But, like, I don't really know him. I spent 2 hours with him in a brewery.
Yeah. By the way, I listened to that episode a couple times.
So did I. It's a good one.
I really, that story about the brewery date, I really think that was, like, I know we joke around a lot on this pod, but I'm going to get serious for a second. I was like, man, this is why I love Corinne. Because you went outside and you took pictures with him and you're like, you were like, it really was like you could just have gotten rid of him, which you should have, and just like, let me make fun of him with Al. But like, you were like, hey, dude, this ain't right. Mm-mm. But like, let me at least set you on the path to like, because I, if you could ever find him, I would love to do a sit down with him.
Oh, God.
I would love to do a sit down with him. Because I think some guys like that, they look at somebody like me and they know I'm not making fun of them, even though I will make jokes. Because I think they see in me like I used to be you until some people got me together. And he just seems like a guy that like never had a dude to be like, because some people's dad, it ain't it. They don't have a big sister. They don't have a homeboy that's like really can talk like that. And they just float through life. He's good looking enough where he can get through, but he doesn't understand why things are falling apart all the time. And he needs somebody to be like, yo, this is why. See that people don't like that. You shouldn't go there. You should go somewhere where somebody knows you. No one's ever told him the basics, and this is what it's like finding a little baby fawn.
We can't get a hold of him because I don't know if you heard the podcast or not, but he definitely unmatched me.
Okay. So he knows how to do that.
Yeah. His little tiny Instagram with 12 followers, we're still connected on, so I could reach out that way. Okay, so let's get into some vouch dating, guys. So this is the first person. I have a guy that is quite a catch. So let's say she's opening with quite a catch. Rest of the sentence. And I want to post him. However, he's currently living with his mom. Hey sis, that's not a catch.
It's not.
He is.
Wait a second. Can any ethnicity get away with that? Because I think if I met a woman from a traditional Hispanic family, especially in Miami, I think a lot of them live with, what about a dude? Okay. That's like, I take care of my grandma. Is there any way you can get past that before you go on?
I'm gonna say this. I did it at Cubano for many years, and they do generational living and stuff like that. However, how old? So to me, like how old do you think this person is? Like
this person that we're talking about?
Because I'm about to tell you his age. So I think
he better be like 26, 27.
Right? Ready?
Yeah.
He's in his early 50s.
Okay, we're done. No, okay, just say Al, shut up, and then say that. And you can just read and I'll go get some water because we're done here. There's no way.
Wait. So remember, you guys, he's in his early 50s and recently went through a divorce.
At the crib?
He has his own space in the basement.
Oh, no. Oh,
I love this speech so much.
Oh, no.
And his mom is cool. His mom's also got to be like 80. It wouldn't be awkward for her.
As far as she knows, she's cool.
It wouldn't be awkward for her if the relationship moved to the point of going back to his house.
Oh.
What? This arrangement makes sense for his business, and he pays her and isn't freeloading at all. Is this a big deal?
Oh,
I don't understand how he's paying rent to his own mother. By the way, he's not even living there for free.
By the way, he's not paying rent. That's what he told this human being. There's no way.
He's not
Your 80-year-old mom is like, what, getting your Venmo and depositing it? Stop it.
And if he is paying her, he's like, she doesn't know any better. He's like, it's $77 a month for rent. She doesn't know what the times are.
She's like, inflation. What's gas at? 89 cents? Yes, Mom.
Oh, God, I love it so much.
Oh, my goodness.
So anyway, guys, I won't be getting dates off of vouch dating because the people that are vouching have the standard. I tripped over the standards on the way into the studio.
Oh, my God. Just like he is. I wonder, do you think this is him writing this?
No, because these sites are heavily vetted. Like you can't join if your Facebook profile is less than 3 years old. You have to have a minimum number of pictures. They have to like prove that it's only females.
It's like joining Raya.
I know, which I cannot get on.
I can't get on it either.
Really?
I tried once and I was like,
oh, you didn't try hard enough. I have 18 recommendations from verified members. I can't get on. Fucking Eliza's on Raya.
No.
Or was. I don't know if she still is.
I don't.
Okay. So let me go with the second one. So I'm going to skip. This is long, so I'm going to skip some of it. So she's like, meet Travis. Pros. Christian, easygoing, loves kids, always willing to lend a helping hand with things, has me as a best friend. Cons. Smoker, but trying to quit. Drinks a lot of beer. He has come a long way, though, from where he was when he hit rock bottom. If you knew his traumatic past, you'd understand, but that's for him to open up about. I feel like you kind of just told us all.
Whenever you mention somebody's rock bottom without their consent.
Yeah,
I don't know if like on a first date I want somebody to know that I hit rock bottom because they're looking at you drinking wine like, you cool on that?
And I mean, she says drinks a lot of beer. So he hasn't come that far from rock bottom.
No, and because to throw the word a lot in there,
yes,
it's a little thing, but it's a lot because that means that like I'm warning you now, like because everybody's like, I know people that drink beer, and she's like, no, this isn't that. This is a professional beer drinker that happens to also do other things.
Yeah. Then she says, he does have his flaws just like anyone else. I'd love for him to find a sweet Christian gal that will continue to encourage him to work on the things he is trying hard to overcome, in parentheses, the smoking and the drinking. Not someone who is consistent in partaking in alcohol and smokes a lot, as I'm afraid that would make him go backward. If you participate in marijuana or other drugs, need not apply.
He's a drug addict. Alcohol is a drug, and clearly he's hit rock bottom. The condescension of her saying,
"Yes, you can't drink."
This is misogyny. And who gives it the most is usually women because they're indoctrinated with this. That like, look, ladies, you better come correct for my friend when he gets up out of he's face down in his pile of vomit now. But you better respect him when he gets up and make sure you clean his face off correctly. And you better be sober when you do it.
Yeah.
How dare you, ma'am?
Yeah.
How dare you? Yeah. This should be going directly to an outreach program that has the word sunrise in it.
Yes. I totally agree. Okay. Okay, we're going with the last one that I'm going to do today. This one, she says, this is Steven, the good. Now, by the way, why don't you guys not do this thing where you do the fair balance where like some good, some bad? Like,
right. And also don't announce him like he's one of the knights of the round table. I am Steven the good from the family of the Black Raven. Shut up, dude.
Well, so she says, the good. He is 36, 5'9"-ish. I beg to differ. That shouldn't be under good. An electrician, also not great. Sober, also not great. Generally good guy looking for his person. Oh, there we go. It was just a weird verbiage. Okay, that's the good. So that's the best we've got on Steven.
I also didn't like the word generally there.
No, generally good guy.
That's like a lot.
Yeah.
It's like a little thing. You don't have to put that in there.
No,
you're like,
didn't. He's a good guy.
You got
He's
some roaches.
generally a good guy.
Yeah.
The bad. He has 3 kids, but he's a great dad. He's kind of shy and can be awkward/boring.
Oh.
And is a hopeless romantic who gets attached way too easily. Who the fuck, if any one of my motherfucking friends described me as boring, I would, that's the worst thing you could say about somebody. Quiet, introvert, boring.
You're right. I tried, you know me, I'm always like, is that boring is, wow. Because boring is coming from somebody that loves them.
Yes.
So, I've never heard somebody described like that.
Okay.
Homebody.
Yeah.
Like you said, book reader.
Yeah.
Doesn't own a TV, all these things. But that can make them interesting. Like, because I play in 2 different rock bands. Okay,
boring.
That's cool.
Boring is the worst insult.
That's bad. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't even gotten to the ugly. So we had the good, the bad, now the ugly. I'm baby mama number 1. There are 2 of us. Ex-wife, two of us / ex-wife, and we're still friends, which can put people off. That's about it. But if there's any interest, I can spill everything.
Oh, she's like, hey.
Somebody take this guy.
I think it's the opposite. I think that he's probably doing okay. She doesn't like the fact that he is still living. He probably makes it. You said you took a shot at electricians, but electricians probably
overcharge.
They probably make $180 a year.
You think?
Electricians, plumbers, HVAC. Do you understand?
Do you have to own the company? You think that the little guys on the ground make that?
I'm saying a lot of people that are just handymen that do that, when my paddle light on my furnace was out, the homeboy came over. This is like maybe 3 months ago. He came over on a holiday. I forgot what. It was a holiday weekend day.
Yeah.
And he came over and he was like, I have 8 more calls today on a holiday.
Yeah.
Like it was. Everybody has air conditioning. If it goes out, yeah.
This is a really nice transition. So I want you to bookmark the on a holiday he came out.
Okay.
And now I'm going to tell you a little ditty because we're on dating anyway. So I went on a date on Sunday.
Okay.
Okay.
Easter Sunday.
Yes, it was Easter Sunday. And I want to say that when this date unraveled and I realized what we were doing, I was desperate to call you. And I just was like, no, you have to wait till the podcast. I
love your discipline.
All right. So let me start this with, I'm going to open with something, I don't know. I don't think it's racially insensitive. But I was watching this Netflix show, Beef.
That's usually the last sentence you say before your political career is over.
Yeah, I know. But like, I'm about to say some positive shit. So,
right, yes.
I mean, you can say positive stuff, right? So I was watching the Netflix show Beef, which is with Ali Wong, who I like love. Anything she does, I will attempt to watch. And everybody in the cast
that's the homie, right?
Really?
That's my girl. She used to do my room in Culver City for years, and she would burn it down.
She's so
But
talented.
she wasn't famous yet, and people would be like, how is she not famous? I was like, it's just a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
and she's so fucking pretty. She's so pretty.
She's so great.
Okay.
That's real. She's a real one. That's not an act. That's
Yeah.
how she is.
Oh, but you can
She's
tell.
awesome.
I think that's why her comedy is so
She's
good.
authentic.
So anyways, she's got this new show on Netflix called Beef. So I start watching it and I am like enthralled. And the best thing about watching it on Ambien is I can then rewatch it when I'm not on Ambien and I can keep watching the same
Enjoy
episodes.
it 2 different ways.
Correct. I can see it over. I don't remember anything that happened. So I watched the full thing like multiple times at this point. And it's an entirely Asian cast. And so I had a taste of Asian. I was like, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
So I don't generally date Asians only because they're not that tall. It's why I don't date Jews. They're not that tall. It's just a tall thing. That's all it is. Okay? So I go on Hinge, I swipe, and I see a 6'4" Asian guy. I was like, fucking yes, please. And we match. It's Sunday morning. And, of course, once we match, I reach out and I was like, what are you doing today? Do you want to get a drink? And he's like, actually, I'm going to a Nuggets game. I was like, oh, cool. Well,
I went to that game. Wait, no, wait.
On Easter Sunday? It was the last game of their season.
Wait, yeah. Did I? Who'd they play?
No, you were in LA.
Oh, yeah. I went to the game before that.
Yes. Okay. So he goes, you know what? I have an extra ticket. Do you want to go to the game? And I said yes. And I didn't ask where the seats were.
Oh, no.
And I thought to myself.
Did you need Kleenex? Did you need some Kleenex? Were you up in the rafters? Can you move the Jumbotron? I can say please? Ooh.
No, but once I said yes, I was like, what did I just do? Like, I don't like basketball and I don't, you know me, we've discussed this. I definitely don't want to sit in bad seats. And I'm thinking if he's got an extra ticket, it's because he paid, I don't know, they pay you to go and sit in the vertigo section.
Especially in the end of the season when all the good players are sitting down for the playoffs.
So I tell Rich and my friends on this text thread and I was like, I've never been more nervous for a date because I didn't ask where the seats were. And they were like, oh, real gentleman taking you to the last game of the season that doesn't count at all where they're not going to use any of their real players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's like the kind of game where they just announce any fan can play if you brought shoes.
They were like, Rocky the mascot, put him in.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay.
So I am I'm getting increasingly more nervous. And he says to me, he goes, I said, where should we meet? Because I hate the stadium situation meaning wise. I don't understand where things are. I just get there wherever the crowd is and there's a door. I'm very bad at the stadium is round.
I would love to see you design a stadium. Okay, look, the people are going to gather. There's a door. Here's the court. Shut up. I'm on Ambien.
I find the entire stadium, I hate the Uber situation. All of it is terrible. So
there's 18,000 people. So
it's very irritating. So I don't know why they can't just chopper them in or there's no, the flow of trying to get out of that goddamn stadium in an Uber is just ridiculous. So, all right. So he says to me, you know what, if you're comfortable, I'll pick you up at your house. I said sure and gave him my address, which again, these are all like things you don't do. You don't go to a game with someone asking where the seats are. You don't give them your home address when you have never met them before. So I'm like, whatever. I don't care. I'm just doing it. And I gave him where my address is, but not which townhome I am. And I was like, I'll run out and meet you out front. So, of course, you can see as soon as I run out which townhome I'm in, but nevertheless.
Great plan.
Yeah. So he shows up.
Mission Possible would be your movie.
Yeah. I'm the worst secret spy of all time. So he shows up and he texts me that he's downstairs and he came. I mean, look, I'm a superficial person. He showed up in a very nice BMW. And I was like, okay, because I'm thinking in my head, he says to me, I'm going to come. The game's at 1:30. I'll come get you at noon. We can go have lunch, get drinks before. I was like, sure. So he also had parking passes, which is also
a good sign.
It's a good sign.
Yeah.
It's a good sign.
If you don't have parking passes, it's probably not great.
No. I was like, because he said to me when we were driving, he goes, "There's this place right next to the stadium, so we can just park at the stadium and walk over, and that way we're close." Yes. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, he's trying to get to the stadium an hour and a half early because he doesn't have parking. Like that's what poor people do, I think.
Oh well, I don't know if that. Yeah. Well, okay.
Right?
You want to have an honest conversation.
There's only so many spots. Well, no, but it turned out he had a parking pass. We had a special. We had like all the special stuff. We parked like basically in the fucking stadium.
Okay,
like
Lexus Club.
Yes.
Okay, you're good. Okay.
Yes, it was all fine. However, obviously I'm looking at my watch, like it's 12:10 when we walk into Brooklands. And I was like, I get a Manhattan, he gets a drink, and then they come over and I'm like, okay, we just like need a minute. I'm not sure. Because I was thinking like maybe I'm going to get a salad, maybe I'll get the dressing on the side. And he's like, I don't mean to rush you, but like we have to get to the stadium by like 1:15. I was like, the game's at 1:30. We got to get there like 2:30.
Yeah. Oh, he's a fan.
Yeah.
I'm not like this dude.
He's a real fan. And then it turns out, I guess, oh my God, I don't know if your girlfriend would know. Anyways, somebody, I won't give away the actual title, very high up in the organization is his friend. So he's, when the tickets, finally I get my hands on these tickets. Oh, we were like 10 rows up from courtside. Like,
perfect, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful seats. So he's really like, I kept asking him questions. I'm like, I don't understand. Do they make, like, what kind of Asian are you? And he's like, South Korean. And I was like, are they all like that tall? And he's like, certainly not. And I was like, where did you grow up? Like, I don't know. I feel like I've been to Koreatown a bunch and I didn't see any tall guys. And he was like, Iowa. And I was like, they got Koreans in Iowa? And he's like, nah, just me. And so like. Did
he have like a Midwestern accent?
No. He just spoke nicely. He's like extremely well traveled. He just came off like a month in Medellin and he's building a business in Colombia. He had another month in Thailand before that. Yeah, like. He's a really fucking smart dude, and he's got his shit together, and he invested in Zoom before the pandemic. So
shut up.
Yes, the thing we all wish we did.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm putting him in the bang or buy category because I'm going to give you some more information, and then you're gonna have to tell me bang or buy.
Bang, bang.
Well, so. As I am wont to do, I obviously found a way to screw this up. So
no.
Well, so I asked him. After the game was over, it ended at like 4, and he was like, do you want to keep hanging out? Like, what were you going to do with the rest of your day? I'm going to have dinner with my family at like 6, but I don't have anything going on until then. And I was like, well, I was going to empty my hot tub. So do you want to empty my hot tub? He said, okay.
He said yes?
He said yes. So now I take him inside my actual
Did he think
home.
It was code for something?
I'm sure that he did.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sure. I got there and I was like, all right, there's the hose.
You were...
and it was hot.
Were you drunk?
A little. I wasn't sober. But I also didn't want to empty my hot tub.
Do you think that he thought that you were joking?
Definitely. I think he thought, like, I have a nice rooftop, and he thought we'll have drinks on the rooftop. And then, she'll, I don't know, maybe I have a sump pump. It's a whole ordeal. So I have him, and I'm like, you went to the Colorado School of Mines. You got an engineering degree.
He went to School of Mines?
Yeah, he's really smart. Yeah. Wow, that's the most impressive you've got.
I'm like, can I get with this dude? Jesus, what do you want?
So I wanted him to empty my hot tub.
By the way, for School of Mines, for everybody goes Harvard, Yale.
No,
okay,
it's
cool.
School of Mines.
School of Mines is like, that's where I did a gig up there once.
Yeah.
And the gig was at 5. And after the show, I went out with some of the students like to the pizzeria. And they were doing like Goodwill Hunting math problems, drinking beers. Like this is like for real smart kids, not rich kids.
Yes.
Ivy Leagues are for rich kids. Mix them with really smart kids. School of Mines is for like the real life Goodwill Hunting, but not Matt Damon's.
Yes. Well, so that we're getting to that. So I was like, okay, the sump pump is there. There's the hose. And so he's like, and the hose is really dirty. And he's like, do you have a bathroom I could wash my hands? I'm like, well, finish your work. And then.
Oh my gosh.
So he drains the whole tub. We have some drinks while it's draining. And then I was like, well, now it's time to fill it. So you're going to have to unplug that.
Oh my God. This roof isn't going to tar itself. Is it Shawshank?
You asked me what I was doing. This is what I was doing. So now he's got to fill the tub. So he fills the tub, right? And we're having drinks while the tub is being filled. Well, I go to turn the tub on and something's not right. And I was like, and I made him take the filter out and clean the filter. It was a great first date, you guys.
Oh my God.
So he takes the filter out, cleans the filter, and then he puts the whole thing back together. And my hot tub is a nightmare. Every 3 months or 4 months, you're supposed to empty it. And I always get nervous because something goes wrong. Well, this time it just, the breaker keeps flipping. Like every time I'm turning it on, it gets settled 5
Probably
minutes
because
in.
people are turning their air conditioners on now.
I don't know. The breaker, I do know actually. The breaker keeps hitting. So I'm like, I'm yelling at him. I'm like, you went to the School of Mines. I'm thinking, I know he didn't break my hot tub. Like, I monitored what he was doing. He wasn't doing anything. But, like...
Oh, he was doing something. He was completely doing
he was cursing
a horrific task at your behest.
And it was hot as shit on Sunday.
I know it was. And you're on the roof.
And he had to go to, like, an Easter dinner, like, sweaty and, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
So, all right. So, I'm like... You have an engineering degree. And he's like, I don't have a degree in hot tubs. And I was like, can you take it apart? Like, what... Can you do something?
Take it apart.
And he's like, I don't have an HVAC license. Like, I don't feel comfortable, like, taking it apart. So, anyways, on this particular date that I thought was going swimmingly, he was like, what do you have going on the rest of the week? Like, would you like to hang out again? And I said, yes, I would like you to take me to the Sip and Paint across the street because I haven't been. And since we were talking about Sip and Paint with the guy, I was like, I think that would be fun. And it's right across the street. It's very convenient for me. And so he's like, okay, like we look at all the things. And I'm like, I'm not painting some stupid fucking Starry Night shit. I'm going to paint something cool. So I pick
Starry Night's one of the most famous portraits in the history of humanity.
Who wants a fake one? Like, I don't need to fake paint that. I'm not doing that. So I would be happier if they were like, here, you're going to paint Mr. Potato Head. Like something unique and weird. So one of the days it was like something a little different. And so it was for Wednesday. So he's like, okay, let's do this on Wednesday. And I was like, fine, Wednesday it is. So I met up with my friend Elise, she happens to be half Japanese, and I was like, you're not gonna believe I found a tall Asian, and she happens to be 5'11", but she's biracial.
Okay, you have to yell it.
So, anyways, she's just stunningly gorgeous, but she's really, really tall, and so I thought maybe she'd know about other tall Asians, and she's like, I'd never seen it, not in a full Asian. So, anyways, I was all excited. I tell her about the Sip and Paint. Do you think he called me?
Oh, he probably thought you were going to make him redo the electrical grid in the building.
Wait, so going back, so that he leaves and I freak out and I call my spa guy, okay? To your point, I call spa guy. He doesn't answer.
So you call your spa guy.
I call my spa guy and he doesn't answer. I leave an insane voicemail. I hang up. 10 minutes later, I call back again. I leave another insane voicemail. Then I begin texting him. And then I call, my brother happens to call in the middle of all of this. And my brother is like, I was like, something's wrong. I don't know if it won't turn on. The breaker keeps flipping. Like, I don't know if I have to drain it or if it can just like sit like this. And my brother's like, oh my God, you called spa guy? And I was like, yeah, multiple times. And like, usually he responds and he's like, Corinne, it's Easter Sunday. He's with his family. He did end up responding like 30 minutes later. He's like, I'm so sorry. I'm out to dinner. And I was like, okay, can you swing by after?
Oh.
Yeah. He ended up giving me instructions and swung by like at 8 a.m. the next morning because he's the best. But the pump is apparently broken. The hot tub is 2 years old. You want to know how much it costs to replace that pump?
How much?
$695.
All right.
You want to know who's getting to a full-on war with the warranty and Nordic spas? This girl.
Wow. Are they attached to Nordic Track?
I bet they are. They have the same insignia.
Because my co-host, Jeff,
he got warranty fucked.
It's been a 3-year battle with his Nordic Track
shit.
client Versa hand feet thing. Like, and Jeff is just to give you, this is Jeff Schroeder from Big Brother. Jeff is like one of those guys that's like old school 1958 cheap or like frugal in terms of like he's the kind he really reads every line of his cell phone bill.
Yeah.
Like, and he'll call and
dad.
he'll be like, what's this 90-cent service extra charge? Like he's that dude and he'll keep calling. So in Nordic Track basically defeated him. Like he must have called her. Like you cannot.
Broke him.
It broke him.
I made some demands, but like I'm lucky. Like Spa Guy loves me, and so it's not the hot tub place, which is great. It's they have the part, and then they go after Nordic spas to say like this needs, and they were like, you need to have someone come out if it's the sealant, and then we don't cover that, and they are standing by it, and so they said I don't have to pay them. I just got to pay the service fee. Guy's coming out on Monday. Anyways, the interesting part of the story is that I decided, I didn't want to lose this nice gentleman. And
right.
So...
especially when the tub's not completely done.
I know. So I baited him back in. I was like, you're not going to believe what happened. It ends up being $695, like, just to get the conversation flowing. We haven't scheduled another date yet.
Did you hit him with the, I'm stuck in the laundry? Maybe he's into that fetish. Yeah, I mean... Uh-huh. Corinne.
Yeah, he's like, I took this bitch to a Nuggets game, 10th row, and then she made me do manual labor.
Yes, before going to see family.
Yes.
And
he was dressed nicely.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to put in the universe that you guys are going to meet back up. He clearly liked you. How are you going to make it up to him?
I don't think that's my style, really.
You gotta.
I'll let you know what? I'll make it up to him by letting him get in the hot tub. You can get in the thing because I didn't. When you refill it, it's not.
Were
hot.
you affectionate at all?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's
He had a nice body, man.
Yeah. He just seems like a dude that's got his self together.
Yeah. He also. This is a crazy twist. So if you don't know this, which I don't know why you would, Married at First Sight and Love is Blind actually are both filming in Denver. But Married at First Sight started casting rather back in October, maybe September. And I applied. And I know the executive producer. And I was like going through the process. And then I thought, it wasn't that I didn't want to get married at first sight. I did. The problem is that if they pick you, which is very hard to do, they have pools of people. There's a pool of women and a pool of men, and you're still in the pool as long as you're still meeting the criteria of the men in the men pool. So if every man in the man pool is like, I don't want somebody that doesn't want kids, then there's nobody to match you with. And it just seemed like the characteristics I have, and like, it's a much younger audience, it was going to be hard to get picked, but all along the way, you have to do all of these psych interviews, and any of that is public information. Like, they're not necessarily going to air it because what's the point, but they would have you like at regular meetings with therapists and stuff. And then I don't really like telling, I don't like therapy. I don't like telling people my business. And the chance of me getting picked was slim. And then if you get picked and you marry, you have to live with them in an apartment that Married at First Sight pays for 3 months. And while you can work during the day, you couldn't travel. So I couldn't do my job.
Oh.
And so I just opted out. Well, it turns out this guy went all the way through the process. And they tell you if they get to the family visit, you're getting picked. They got to the family visit and he opted out.
Wow.
Yes.
That's
so he was almost on Married at First Sight. So I was like, that's so crazy.
I'm sure he was probably their dream person. Yeah, because, you not wanting kids, I would think that there would be, if they have, I've watched the show, if they have 6 couples, which would be a lot. It's weird because there's more. I watched the UK version too.
Wow.
Yeah, the UK one's way looser. It's a different show than the American one. The UK one is like, they're like fire. It's almost like when they used to match people on like Blind Date, like the show, like they're like aggressively different with their personalities. Americans are like, I want to meet somebody and have kids and sit in the suburbs. They're just like, look, he needs to bring it. And
I like you, Molly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's some, and they have a gay couple on there, which I'm like, and they are so interesting.
That's got to be a really hard match. Well, I guess it shouldn't be harder than heteros.
No, there's 2 gay. There's a gay couple and then there's a non-binary couple.
Wow.
So, and it's super interesting. It's just like the whole world isn't like milk toast. And I think somebody like you that's not looking for kids, there's a lot. You represent a large demographic of people that are just like, I don't need no man, but you really don't need a man because we live in a world that everybody needs to make a significant amount of money to keep your head above water and keep.
Yeah, just keep swimming.
Yeah. And so there's a thing there where I think maybe you would even look crazy in 1990. In 2023, a woman that had done 1 kid, everybody's like, cool. Okay. It's not this like your daughter is unwed with no children. Like that would have been an issue.
Yeah.
That would have been an issue back in the day.
I mean, the other problem is I was hoping, because I'm in, unfortunately, an older age range, I didn't want them to match me with somebody who has kids. I mean, you list on the casting sheet like all your deal breakers, and I listed all that stuff. But anyways, I thought that was like a really interesting thing. So we'll see what I can do here. I was going to buy him originally because I was like, how dare you we picked the painting out. Like, why didn't you? And when I did reach out to him at like 4 p.m. on Wednesday when we were supposed to go, I was like, hey, like, how's your day going? I ended up finding out that it's a hot tub pump replacement thing, $695. And he's like, oh, great. I'm watching the finals with some friends. I was like, oh, so we definitely not sipping and painting. You did not have any intention of sipping and painting.
Yeah, I don't blame him. The fact that he picked the phone up, because you know me.
Yeah.
That phone, you talk about unsubscribe. Woo!
Yeah.
So shout out to this dude, Corinne. This is the dude.
You think?
I think so, because he came back and he shouldn't have. But there's.
Yeah, I told him what task he was going to have to do.
See, even that's not going to, can't do that. That won't work for a second date. You need to like show him because it's all, and it seems crazy for me to speak on your parents' relationship, but just I've talked to you for hours now and I kind of understand the dynamic. Your mom, when we talk about her on and off camera, she's got like this interesting personality. And your dad loves it because, like, I think there's a thing where a lot of guys kind of like women that aren't super friendly in public, but to them there's affectionate. I think that's in a weird reverse way why a lot of women like Trump, because it's like he's an asshole to everybody, but he's not one to me. There's a personality that gravitates towards that type of personality type. So I'm just saying. Now you showed him the one side of the, coin. I was trying to think of the cookie you eat that you had me eating the other day. What's your cookie?
Oh, Elfwich.
Yes.
One side of the Elfwich.
You showed him the hard sides of the Elfwich.
I was gonna say both sides are the same.
Yes, but you need to show him the soft middle.
Okay.
To let him know that there is a reward for when mama's prickly.
Yeah.
And so then he'll kind of, there's a dynamic there that is kind of sexy. But if you don't show the chocolate part of the Elfwich, he's just like, oh, this is just a mean dom that I don't pay. So like, you don't want him going to mean dom. You clearly like him. When he, like, just that you said when he pulled it, I was just like, it made me think of my favorite Kanye, one of them. It's so sad what happened to one of the greatest artists ever. But he just said he put up at 6:30 in a 7:45, and it's like, yo, you lived that. He pulled up in a Beamer, took you to the game, fixed your pool on a holiday where he could have just been chilling. He picked up the phone after I would have knocked on your door and then hung the phone up in front of you and walked back to my BMW. So the fact that he didn't do that, and swimmers, let me know if I'm tripping, but for real, there's got to be some sugar on the stick.
Yeah, like I'm saying, I was gonna just buy him because I basically stood me up, but I think perhaps he had just cause. So we're gonna go ahead and proceed to trying to bang.
Just cause. Okay.
Speaking of, so next to the sip and paint, I wanted to address, you know that we've got.
Just cause. You're like, I could see his side. I would have.
I mean, really.
Oh my gosh.
I thought it was a chance for him to show his chops.
I think he did. You wanted him to build a hot tub from a bunch of random parts in the middle of the summer on a roof in the sun.
That's true.
So yes. Okay, so he gets my vote. And if he's 50-50, have him call me.
So I will have him call you. There's construction going on outside of my home.
Finally, what everybody's been waiting to hear. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Construction chat.
Why don't we have a drop for this?
People listening like, we've been dicking around for an hour. Let's go. How's traffic on I-70? Can I merge or not?
Anyways, I took these pictures. This is not a great story. I paid to have blinds put on every single window except for 2 that are roof facing. So like there's no point. I'm not going to see anyone anyway. So you know that I'm like a nudist. So I'm doing work on my couch just in my underwear, drinking coffee in the morning.
This sounds like a recruitment video for peeping toms. Like,
yes.
Yo, hey, if you can make it to my roof, you know what time it is.
And I just look out. I am on my couch, and then I see. I mean, it's not a great picture because it's backlit. They're just a bunch of men I'm making eye contact with.
Yeah. Okay, these guys are working.
Yes.
Okay.
They're putting something in on the roof, but they have full ability to see me, and I just wanted to point out.
Okay, but here's the question.
Yeah. I have another shot of this, yes?
That guy's wearing a hoodie.
Yeah,
okay?
well, I didn't take the picture
he's on the roof.
when he was looking at me. I'm very close to these people.
I know, that's not my point.
Oh, yeah.
He's wearing a hoodie.
Yeah.
He's working. It's the roof.
Could he fix my hot tub?
Probably. He could probably. But you know what? Maybe, Corinne, your naked body reading or watching TV on your couch.
No, I was doing work on my laptop. I was like working on Google Sheets.
Naked?
Yeah. Oh. It was the work day.
Oh.
That's what working remotely is it not?
Oh, that's interesting. Straight on your, right on your couch?
No, I was
What's
wearing.
the cheek to couch ratio?
No, I was wearing like boy shorts underwear.
Okay.
But I wasn't wearing a top.
Okay, that's fine. All right, just as long as it's not on the material.
No.
Yeah, okay. So, like, what if you just brought a little twinkle to his day?
I definitely did.
Okay, so are you okay with that?
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like it is what it is. It was so unexpected. I mean.
Was there a little tingle?
No.
You would never? I mean, the idea of being a voyeur or being voyeured, whatever the person being looked at, there's got to be a little, everybody wants to be objectified to some extent.
I felt, but I was sort of embarrassed. Like it was like middle of the workday. Like I don't know. It's probably like 10 a.m. It just seemed like I felt like, I have a highfalutin job. I just don't always have to do it with clothes on.
By the way, this sounds like those Playboy letters that they used to get that were all lies, but like this is a 2023 update. It was like, I was working from home, naked. Boy shorts.
And then these construction workers.
Yes.
It very much is.
Just then the AC went out in my house and they just yelled, "We can help."
Yeah. I have a heated blanket. Sometimes I put that on. So where I'm going with this, they've opened up something else that I am deeply offended by. This is what is now also below me.
Okay, now I'll not say the name because you just keep trying to help triangulate your location until somebody strangles you in the laundromat. A DJ school that will remain nameless.
Yeah. A DJ school.
A DJ school.
A fucking DJ school. I went on their website, by the way, and their classes, which are mostly over Zoom, are
what?
Yes, $495 for an hour.
Oh my goodness!
And they were like DJ sizzle chops, and like you can pick which DJ you want to train you.
That's like something you would do on a video game, like
I'm
Mario
so
Kart.
Mad about it. I'm so mad about it.
Yeah, here's what it is. All the people that were raised in the suburbs that we've touched on, and we'll get to in this Yelp review that's coming.
Yes.
The DJ school symbolizes all of it. You withheld from your kids with good intentions. You're like, I want to keep them away from the streets and urban and like, but what you do is you create this vacuum in their life of culture and fun and entertainment. And everybody that they're around lives in the same bubble that they do. Nobody has any stress. Nobody has that friend that like is 3 days late and can't make rent. All those people are interesting in different ways because life is killing them.
Yes.
And I say this about any kind of art. Unfortunately, and this is where hip hop came from, art comes from trauma. Richard Pryor was raised in a brothel. Here we go. Yeah. Hip hop came out of the crack AIDS epidemic in the America's inner cities. That's where you cannot make that music at, a craft cocktail bar where somebody is asking you, just give me your mood and I'll make you something. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Going to a place where somebody's playing the piano is nice. $400 velvet slippers are nice, but they're not interesting. And that's the question you always have to ask yourself as an adult. Do you want to live in a nice neighborhood or an interesting one?
Always nice. 100% of the time nice. But I don't think this DJ school is pumping out any...
It's not, they're trying to grasp onto their childhood because they wanted to do all that stuff. And their parents were telling them like 1990s scared suburban mom stuff like, don't go downtown. Puerto Ricans will take your hubcaps. Don't show them your cell phone. They'll find me and kill me. I saw it on 2020. Mm-hmm. All these lies that they realized later if they went to college and they moved to New York or whatever. But now their 18, 19, 20s are gone. And they're like, damn, shit, I wish I had DJ. I wish I had been to some of those clubs. And they're trying to recapture it.
Out of curiosity, were you allowed, one of my mom's big rules was I was not allowed to have my name on my backpack or as a child. Yeah. So, yeah, because then someone who's going to kidnap you goes, Corinne, and then you think you know them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
That was, I mean, listen, we both lived in the Adam Walsh era where we just thought kidnapping was fucking rampant. You could get snatched off the street at any point in time. Yeah.
You know what, though?
But that Adam Walsh got kidnapped in Broward County, like where I grew up.
I'm going to tell you this. You think about now, like 2023, police have DNA samples. They have cameras everywhere, triangulation. You got to put an air tag and find anybody anywhere. They still don't find anybody.
Yeah,
like they don't. They still like. There's thousands of rape kits that need to be DNA tested, never been tested. We still don't do anything now with all this technology. What do you think was going on in 1977?
Oh, no, you could just take anyone.
You could
take a baby at the hospital.
Where do you think all these true crime pods are coming from? It's from all these cases where, because now 2 women chilling in the comfort of their home having red wine can solve the case because the sheriff was a bottle of bourbon deep at 9:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. So you could that's what I don't respect any criminal before like maybe 1999. Because in 82
you're right. Because
the Night Stalker, the police departments in different counties didn't talk. Mm-hmm. So if I killed you in Denver and then went to Aurora, the next county over, they're like, he's disappeared off the face. And I'm like,
that's right. There's
my barber is down there. They just didn't. So it's different. I think a lot of people got kidnapped. Matter of fact, I saw a commercial and it said, if you believe that your family is not your family, call this number, because there were so many switcheroos at the hospital.
Damn.
But everybody's drunk, and I think everybody was drunk until 1995. So, babies are exchanged. There's no DNA. What would you do if somebody goes, here's your Caucasian baby? What would you be like? No, that ain't him. You take it home, and then when he's 11, you're like...
Yeah, you're like...
I don't know. It's just so I think a lot of people did get kidnapped, and I think that when all these people go, I lived in a neighborhood, it was so nice, you didn't have to lock your doors, and now it's crazy. It's like, no, people didn't lock their doors and their kids got taken. Mm-hmm. People just don't talk about it until podcasts came out, and now there's thousands of episodes. How'd that happen?
Yeah, that's a great point.
Where'd all that content come from?
I agree with you in not respecting the pre-genetic testing, like pre-DNA database crimes. Anyone could have done that. You're not special.
You would have to be standing over the victim with blood dripping off the knife, and you carved in them. Al did this.
Yeah.
In the cops would be like, yeah, we got him, boys.
By the way, was a thing they also used to do then that I don't think they do now, where they do the calling card.
Oh,
Helter Skelter,
the criminal.
Yeah.
I don't even think they need.
That's how easy it was. You could even signature it, and nobody knew.
That was your font.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Well, this is not a crime podcast, although it is one of my very favorite things to talk about. But I want to hear your Yelp review because it is.
You saw me sitting up because I was excited to read this.
Please get it out.
Yeah, this is one of those things. I was with my kids this weekend. Y'all know how I do. I love being with my babies. And my daughter was in Bali. And so I'm with the 2 boys. And my 8-year-old, he and I went to Whole Foods in Manhattan Beach. And so we're up in Whole Foods.
Been to that Whole Foods?
Yeah, I like that one. That's the one that has a bar in it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, if Whole Foods is your dive bar,
Oof.
we need to have a chit chat.
Yeah.
You're like an alcoholic that's like still scared to go down to the hood.
I have a grocery store in my neighborhood that's like a local grocery store, which just means everything is ridiculously overpriced. They're like, but we got it in Colorado. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
No, it's farm to table.
No.
As far as I know, what do I know?
Yeah. Anyways, they have a full bar and they do like pizza night on Tuesdays, and I'm like, who the fuck is hanging out at this grocery store?
People are trying to create a community.
I don't know.
It's the same people that are like into swing dancing. You know, there's like everybody's trying to find their tribe.
I got college credit by going to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts for one summer, and I took my elective was swing dancing.
Did you have to get 2 credits of embarrassment? 1 shame?
Yeah, it wasn't. I picked fencing, and my father's like, what are you going to do with a fencing degree? Get the swing dancing. People swing dance.
Oh, what? Did Mambo number 5 just come out? He's like, this is going to the top. Wait till number 6 comes out. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm in the Whole Foods with Bradford. And so, I do the self-checkout because in 2023, we're all checkout clerks. So, he's just scanning around something, looking for a last-second candy to buy, and he gets Smart Sweets, which are gummy worms.
Yeah.
And he puts them, on the thing to be scanned, and I'm like, you want these? Okay, cool. And so I scanned them with the scanner myself.
They're $10. They're like
it was $9.99.
Yes.
And so we went home and Ford, whenever he's doing something shady with food, he disappears. It's like, if you dated somebody with a coke problem and they're like real boisterous and then they're gone for 30 minutes and you're like, I called you 3 times. Like, I was down in the other part. So like Ford was doing something shady. So I come out and I realized we had a suite. So I was in the bedroom part. I come out and he's in I was in a sad dad pad, but it was a 2-bedroom sad dad pad.
Okay.
And so I come out, he's in the kitchen and I just see the gummy worms open. They're all dumped out on the counter, but they were all there. I was like, why didn't Ford have like an hour?
Yeah.
I know my boy. He could house this in an hour. Come on.
Less than that.
And
Well.
And so I'm like, well, why didn't he want these? And so
You partook?
I ate one.
Oh.
And it led to this Yelp review.
Okay. I have a lot to say on this just by coincidence.
Yes, because you knew what I was talking about.
I know exactly. You didn't. You guys, I walked into his house. I saw them on his kitchen counter. I was like, have you eaten these yet? I was like, allow me.
Yes, I was going to have you do a live taste test, but apparently you beat me to it by some months. So this is the Yelp review inspired by that gummy worm I had. All right, it says, it's hard to talk to your kids about life, disappointment, things that seem too good to be true, like Bitcoin or an open marriage. Well, that's what I encountered with Smart Sweets. First of all, Smart Sweets doesn't sound like a candy. It sounds like a nickname given to the smartest sister wife by her condescending husband. Smart Sweets is a version of gummy bears that resides at Whole Foods. I don't know how to describe it. I would just say if the Montessori school had a flavor, this would be it.
It's very true. Yes.
My 8-year-old wanted them. They rang up for $9.99. I think that's how much heroin costs. Yes, $10 gummy worms, 10 American dollars.
It's like $1 per gummy because it's a very small package.
It's insane. Yeah. I wanted to throw them across the Whole Foods into the 99-cent lavender-infused Q-tips. That wasn't until I tasted one. I took one bite and I said, finally, a candy that tastes like what chemicals give their kids. The aftertaste can best be described as whatever taste you have after being punched in the mouth by someone wearing their class ring. The worst thing is my son had to learn for himself that you don't get gummy worms at Whole Foods.
No, you don't get any candy at Whole Foods.
You don't want anything that you want to taste good to come from Whole Foods. And that's not a shot at Whole Foods. Obviously, I shop there often, but not for sweets. If you want good sweets, you go to a neighborhood that people you go to a neighborhood that people that you would hate would describe as sketchy. Yeah. Maybe, just maybe, that was a lesson I needed to teach my son. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well,
tell me about
so much
Smart
to tell you.
Sweets.
Okay, so first of all, you picked the bad flavor. So so I picked the bad flavor first too. So the watermelon slices are horrendous. Gummy worms are not as bad. There's Coke bottle ones, those are fucking terrible. Some of them are bad because you can't chew them. Like they won't chew. It's
all chemicals.
Well, yeah, that's look, but there's only 90 calories in the whole fucking bag. So obviously I tried. So there's one that's decent, and they're the peach gummy rings. Those are tolerable. The problem is I have no self-control. So I started eating aggressively, and they have a crazy high amount of fiber. And again, yes, they're definitely all chemicals, but I don't know how they have. There's I want to say like 9 grams of fiber per serve, like crazy amount of fiber. So I was like, yeah. Like I started meal replacing with these fucking peach gummy. Yeah. Now I did it because
I think all trainers suggest that.
So I did it because of the fiber content and the low caloriness, and I love candy. Then I started to become very, very ill. Like I was really sick for a really long time. Now I don't know why it took me so long to pinpoint the cause, but I had gone really off the rails. Like for a few months, like I couldn't stomach anything. I was just like my stomach hurt 100% of the time, all the time.
Really?
So I had to see a doctor. There's a lot that goes into this story. I'm deciding whether I want to tell the...
You know what just hit me? Mm-hmm. Do you think that you might be on a Facebook site for doctors?
Oh, God,
have you had this patient?
If there was.
When she came to me, she was sweating bullets. With me, she was constipated as a... Okay, good.
So I had the opposite problem. So I was going to the bathroom 10 times a day. Mm-hmm. So I originally went to my primary care doctor, and I was like, something's wrong. And
that's how I made my first million on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm debating whether to tell the story or not. So I go to my primary care doctor, and I was like, and also my asshole's hurting. And she's like, well, you're going to the bathroom far more than you should. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And so she's like, well, you really need to see a specialist.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so she says to me, she's like, well, she goes, I'm your primary care doctor. I'd like to send you to a proctologist. And I had to see a GI person and a proctologist, but the proctologist was up first. So she goes, I'd like to send you to a proctologist. And I said, yeah, okay, fine. And I'm already so frustrated. At that point, I'd been sick for a while. And I was to the point where my parents wanted me to visit our house in Delray, and my brother and I would have to share a bathroom in the new house that they have. And I was like, I can't share a bathroom.
Right.
The situation's not tenable. I have to know where the bathroom is at all times.
This isn't up for debate. Yeah. Mama needs to shit.
So.
You're like a gerbil at this point. It just comes out as soon as you eat.
Yeah. So I was so sick. So, all right. So I have to see this proctologist, and she goes, well, I want to recommend you to the one that I think is by far the one that's the best one in the Denver area. And I was like, well, yeah, I want to see that one. She goes, but it's a man. Are you comfortable with that? And I was like, yeah, I prefer men. Mm-hmm. I think that's fine. So she goes, okay.
He has dildos for hands.
No, she goes, he's really good looking. Is that going to affect you? And I said, what are you doing right now?
Yeah. What is it?
What, Pamela?
What? This is happening at a medical facility? That's so unprofessional.
It's way worse. So I'm like, I don't care. Then she tells me his name, which I'm not going to give out, but it's the equivalent of if his last name was Hott, Hott. So I was like, is this a joke? Am I, are you kidding? And she's like, no. But I mean, he's married, so you can't try anything. And I was
Jesus. I can't stop shitting. I'm not trying to break up their marriage.
So I'm like, whatever. And in my head, I didn't even put it together because I was like, this is not... her idea of hot and mine are probably not the same. And I forgot entirely. It took forever to get this appointment. So when I get the appointment, I show up all slovenly, I'm just whatever. I'm not I don't look cute or anything. I go into the appointment, and the medical assistant comes in first, does my blood pressure, asks me what's up. She leaves the room, and he walks in, and he is fucking beautiful. Shaved head, 6'4", South African accent. And I was like, fuck. She told me and I forgot. And so I begin obviously sweating. I'm doing the thing where I can't get it together. And so he says to me, he goes, so why don't you tell me a little bit.
Put your ass down, man.
Yeah, well, he goes,
what's your name?
Well, why don't you tell me a little bit about your problem? And I was like, my asshole's broken. And he's like, okay, so you're having some pain. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, so I'm going to ask you to rate on a scale of 1 to 5. I was like, disaster. Paint the ball every time, disaster.
Yeah.
I just I can't really I can't be cool at all. I'm just, I now have social Tourette's. Like I'm just saying things like.
How long have you been sick this time?
Well, truthfully, it was close to a year. Yeah. Yeah. But I just was like, ignore it, it'll go away. Ignore it, it'll go away. Yeah, but it wasn't going away and it was getting worse. And I was at the point where now I needed medical intervention. So, yeah, I know.
I don't want to hear you say anything about my man's foot. Okay? Yeah.
I just was well, he asked, wait, so he goes, that was his next question. He goes, how long has this been going on for? And I said, it's been, probably about a year. And he goes, oh my God, why wouldn't you have seen someone sooner? And I said, well, sometimes it'd be like that. And he's like, I don't know, it don't be like that. That's a medical problem. You should be worried. And I was like, well, I'm here now. And he goes, okay, well, I'm going to have to, digitally get in there. And I was like, okay, I mean, he didn't say get in there, but he did say digital. And I was like, okay. Yeah, all right, fine. And he's like, and there's...
First, I'm going to play you a cartoon of a character pulling his finger out of a dam.
Yeah. Okay. So he goes, and I might need to use a camera if I can't feel enough with my fingers. And I was like, this is how my OnlyFans starts. So I was like, yeah, get the camera. And he's like, there's an extra fee. I was like, I'm sure there is.
Oh my goodness.
So he leaves the room. He comes back in the room. And I had to put the gown on and stuff. And he's like, okay, I have to get in the art of seduction position, facing the window. He puts his fingers in my asshole. And he's like, immediately, he's like, well, I need to get the camera. And so he gets up there and he's like, there's problems. So he's like, there are, yeah. So it turns out I have internal hemorrhoids and all kinds of stuff from just shitting 10 times a day for a year.
Oh my
I know
God.
This is really a good look for me, guys. Just please know that if anyone ever did anything for the story, I just think it's too good of a story not to repeat. I am losing my mind at this point. I don't he's talking to me and he's like, I'm probably going to have to go in and cauterize or, there's this
cauterize?
Yeah.
That's what you talk about when you're using rebar to put a second floor on a house.
Well,
cauterize?
Yeah, he said to me, he goes, I don't understand how you would have lived like this for this long. So anyway, I'm still stuck on the fact that he's really hot and his fingers are in my asshole. So I'm looking at him over my shoulder,
Trying to be sexy?
I mean... I'm doing the best I can with what I've got here. Yeah. And he goes, and he's trying to calm me down because it's a very alarming, obviously. He's got a camera up my fucking beehole, right?
Right.
So he's trying to calm me down. And he's
what kind of camera is it? The long camera?
It's attached to a tube.
Does it look like the microphone at an old Wendy's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly like that,
right.
Yes. But they put, a condom on it.
Okay.
So anyways, I hope they do some sort of disinfecting between assholes. That's my hope.
As soon as he puts it in, you go, that's why I don't have guys wear them. Yeah. I'm allergic.
Oh, my God. I also, trust me, as he's telling me that it's, Hurricane Katrina up there, he's like, there are fissures there. And I was like, I've never had anal sex. And he's like, I didn't, it's not that kind of situation. I'm not accusing you. And I was like, nothing has ever gone up there.
Yeah. He's like, I'm halfway through my forearm. So you want to tell that story again, buddy?
Then I do maybe the most remarkable thing I've ever done in a doctor's office. He says to me, I have lost all control of my verbal responses to anything.
I didn't know where you were going with that sentence. Okay. I really didn't know. I was like, Jesus, how'd you sit on this story for that long?
So he goes, he's trying to calm me down. And he says, he goes, oh, I know you see Dr. blah, blah, blah. And I said, he goes, my wife sees her. And then I go, my wife sees her.
Why did you do that? You just mocked him? Hand still in.
Yeah, because I didn't like that he was married.
Yeah, you just lashed out like a 4-year-old. Even though, if you had read, The Art of War, there's a higher position.
No way, that's what I should have said. Yeah.
But, so you just mocked him.
Yeah, my wife's in her. Yeah. So after that, there was a lot of silence. And he said, look, I'm going to give you're going to have to go on, He put me on several medicines. Anyways, we think the reason this all happened was that fucking candy. That's where I'm going with this.
Oh my goodness.
It fucked up the bacteria in my gut so badly and for so long that it took months and months and months to get myself like fixed.
Right.
And that's the only thing other than lean cuisines that I was eating. There's no other culprit.
It's just like your diet.
So I should have Yelp reviewed these motherfuckers.
Well, I don't know how much leg you have to stand on. Because I don't think the serving instructions are all day, every day.
I was just like, fiber, more fiber.
No, well, that's why, because my snack after I stopped drinking and like I wouldn't want to eat like a bunch of junk food. I got hooked on the like basically frosted mini wheats, but the old people kind. Huh. The kashi ones, they're really good, and like they got frosting on them, and there's like autumn harvest and cinnamon. It's like a good little like, yo, I'm 45, I can't be eating crazy, and then it just like fiber wise just overwhelmed everything, and like that kind of thing where like you're with your kids doing something and then you just stop talking and go and shut the door, and just it's a different level of just when it's already on its way out, and you're like, I'm a person that thought I could control things, and you realize like it's when you're in the ocean.
When I went to visit my parents in upstate New York, and my mom would make like all this food to bring on the boat, and I wouldn't eat anything, and she's like, I don't understand why, like, I was drinking the Chardonnay, trust on that, but I wasn't eating anything. I wouldn't eat on the boat. And she's like, and that's like what you do. There's not a lot to do on the boat. You're supposed to be drinking and eating. And she'd make, these like really elaborate like platters and stuff, and I'm not touching it. And, so she's like, I go, because I can't afford to, there's no, I need to have fucking eyes on a bathroom. If I'm putting anything in my mouth, I need to know where the nearest bathroom is. And I did that for a year.
Yeah. It's, you can hear all this in our spin-up podcast. What's the shitting situation?
Yeah. Oh my God, yes!
I honestly, that's everywhere that I go. Everything, my first thought is like, where's the bathroom? That's it. I'm sorry.
So you texted me this, and this is so true to life, you guys. So I went to the park with a bunch of my LGBTQ brothers and sisters. We all went to the park, and I had asked a bunch of questions leading into the park visit. Now, stupidly, one of them, I did ask where the closest bathroom was when we got there. However, the answer was there is a porta potty, which I knew because it's a park to be the problem. However, there's only one porta potty, and it was Cheeseman Park. It's a very big park.
There's probably at any given time 3,500 people out there.
First nice day. Yeah. I mean, it was, so I start panicking because like I knew I was going to have to pee. Like I'm drinking a ton of wine. And so when I get to the point, I know better than to wait till it's like go time, like when I really have to pee. However, I get in this line, there are 6 people in front of me. And when I get to the turlet, the water line, which is not water, the used tampons, duty, and he's like 6 inches below the fucking rim. And there's no antiseptic hand sanitizer left in the... So I do the thing where I'm tapping the hand sanitizer, which is what everyone else's dirty ass hand did, and there's nothing in it. Yeah. And I texted you when I was in line, and you said to me, my first question is, what is the shitting situation?
It's my motto, and I didn't even have those details that you just...
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was vile.
Like, sometimes I feel like I don't do my job on this podcast because when you're saying stuff like my body seizes, but it's like I think I've been traumatized a few times, especially living in New York City. Did I ever tell you the demo the apartment story?
Mm-mm.
Okay. When I lived in New York City, I lived in the East Village, I lived in Queens, and I lived on the Upper West Side. It was 64th and West End. So you take the 1, 2, or 3 train to get up there and get to the apartment. So I still got my hair cut in the Village because I used to live there. And I didn't know any barbers on the Upper West Side. And so on the way back home, I was like, man, I got to use the bathroom real bad.
Mm-hmm.
But it was that thing. I'd already swiped, so I'm already down at the platform. And I'm like, I'm not going to go upstairs and try and find a bathroom in the East Village.
So yeah, well, I mean, no one's gonna let you use it. You gotta buy something. It's a whole fucking
it's terrible.
rigmarole.
Like, I'd have to buy like a spaghetti dinner to use the bathroom. And so like, I was like, I can make it. Mm-mm. And the one train came, and usually I took the 2 or the 3 because I knew those were the locals. But I was like, the one train, we're good. And as we're going, we get to my stop, which I think was Amsterdam. Yeah, I think my stop was Amsterdam. And the express train, which I didn't know I was on, just blew right past my stop. Like, it was on that thing where it's not even on the track that's closest to the platform. Like, we were in the middle. So we were going heading to Harlem. And I mean, at this point, I'm like walking around the car, like just trying to like not stop, letting off little test farts. And so like I get off on like, I'm on 66. They put me off on things like 72nd. So I'm like doing that run skip because like, you know,
the call is coming from inside the house.
And there's no New York City. There's nowhere to go to the bathroom. I cannot explain to you guys. There's nowhere. There's no hotels. There's nothing. So I get back to my place and I'm trying to key into the first set of doors, but you're doing that like rock where you're like almost all the way down on your knees and then you stand back up to throw your body off a little bit and get your keys.
Sadly, I know
I got through the first set of doors, hit my elevator, and it's just not coming. People moved in and out all the time. I look behind me. The demo apartment is open. The apartment that they show people.
Oh my God, yes.
Like what a unit looks like.
Yeah.
Your boy went in there and represented the city of Cleveland as only I can, and went to flush, and there was no water.
I was just gonna say, oftentimes the demo is just a demo.
It's a faux show toilet.
Yeah.
It's
no.
And so we just shut the lid and went on upstairs.
Of course. Somebody else's problem.
Yeah. So whoever, I'm sorry, and it was my own place. But it was just like that saying, when God closes the door, they open a window. That was it.
Yeah.
When God closes the door, he opens a demo apartment.
Yeah,
and you go in there and represent.
I mean, as someone who has bowel problems, I've never been. You gotta do what you gotta do.
It affects your life in a weird way because, like, for me, I'm always thinking about it, like where do I go to the bathroom? And I think there's times that like I've been on planes and maybe some things didn't work out, and so like.
So I will say one saving grace. I have horrible when I had to see the GI after the proctologist, when I went in to see him, he was like, "Do you have any upper problems?" Because they were determining whether they're going to do an endoscopy in addition to the colonoscopy that they ordered.
Were they going to put a camera down your throat and do a...
It was the baby's first DP.
I was going to say it really was the Eiffel Tower medical edition.
So he said to me, he was like, do you have any upper? And I said, no. And he's like, you don't get, nauseous or anything. And I said, I spontaneously throw up a couple times a month, but that's
normal,
and
right?
I go, it's like getting old, right? And he goes, what? You do what? And my friend Michelle, who's a nurse, I had told her, and she's like, why wouldn't you have mentioned that? I'm like, who mentions that they, like, it just happens. Like, I'm sitting on my couch and I'm eating, I eat these dried chickpeas and then I'll be like, gonna have to throw up now.
Are you serious?
My mouth just waters and then I throw up. Yeah. But it's just arbitrary.
No, it's not.
So apparently it's not. Anyways.
Okay.
I was going to say, I often have to throw up, like, just wherever I am. And, like, that's just, people are very nice about that, honestly. Mm-hmm. Nicer than they are if you're going to put pants out of shit somewhere.
Yeah, if I just went and threw up outside and you could tell and I came right back in and kept talking on the pod, would you address it? You'd be like, he's 45.
Yeah, it's just, I don't think it's, I didn't occur to me that it's,
It didn't occur to me. Okay. All right, I believe you.
I threw up right before we got to the park. And my neighbor is just like used to this, so I was like, man, I just threw up. And he's like, did you brush your teeth? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, all right.
Not why.
No. I don't know. I just get arbitrarily sick.
Okay.
This is a weak machine over here.
Yeah. Hey, look, you've been on Survivor twice, so you ain't weak.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to an email really quickly before we blab forever. But you guys, we appreciate all the emails coming in. We're gonna get to everybody, but right now we're gonna get to my boy. I think we've already done one, so I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna do this one really quickly, and if we have time, we'll get back to that one. So this one, I'm not gonna say the name because I don't know what they're thinking about anonymity. So I'll just say we'll call them Y.
Okay.
And with that first name, I don't even know how they identify. Okay, so it says, "Hey, Al and Corinne, I need a little help. So last night I was on Grindr because I was bored and saw a. How come people always use bored as a like a synonym for horny?
I don't know.
I was so bored.
Because boring isn't.
Yeah, right? It's just like, yo, I was feeling a little horny. Like, no one ever wants to admit they were horny. It's okay, but maybe you were just bored. And I saw a profile of a sexy guy, but I couldn't see their face in the picture. I sent a picture of my face, no nudes, that's in all caps, and they said, where does the name, he wrote it, Johan. Okay, yeah, originate from. So I freak out because this is someone I know.
That's South African, right?
I think so. Okay, so he says, so I freak out because this is someone I know, but I have no idea who. I asked them their name, and they stayed anonymous and said, I just came here to mess with my ex, and then proceeded to block me.
Huh?
Oh. I, being the stubborn shit that I am, made another account and sent nudes. Now there is no way they could have identified me, but they then sent a picture of a map and asked if I lived there. Which I didn't, so I said no, and they proceeded to block me on that account too.
What the fuck is going on with your Grindr?
I need help on how to figure out which of my friends or classmates this is. I have a general idea that they have a nice body and curly brown hair, but that is all I got. I am so embarrassed to go to class knowing one of my classmates saw me on Grindr and possibly knows I sent nudes. Love the podcast so far. I am a longtime member of the cult. Shout out. And by the way, Corinne, do you still refuse to drink water? She's drinking water right now because of me.
It's actually because of that whole stomach issue. I was kind of read my riot act. So I don't drink water frequently. I've never, how many times, we're recording our 16th episode plus the 8th that we're trashed. I never do it.
Yeah, never. Yes.
And not if I'm trying to lose weight. I definitely don't drink water. Okay. All right. So I want to say a couple things here. First of all, with regard to finding which guy this is, if you remember, if you are a Survivor fan, when Joe Anglim's nudes came out and he was in the shower and like he was like, it's not me, but then we matched up like all the freckles and stuff. That's kind of the move, right? Like find an identifying, because I'm assuming you saved them, right? So unless I don't remember how Grindr works in that way. If it's like Snapchat, if it goes away. But the move is like you just look at his arms, the stuff you can see, and see where a freckle is located on his arm, and then look at your classmates. Like that's how I would identify if you're trying to like uncover the person.
Or be kicked out of school for being super weird.
Yeah.
Can I see your forearm, sir? Yeah.
But like, I think that's something like most people, because he's saying he has nudes of them too, right? That's all he has to go on.
As far as he knows.
Right. Well, that's where I was going to go next. Secondly, and as far as you sending nudes, first of all, that is like, I remember when I was in college, my mom took me to Target because we were going to buy something for my dorm room. And I was like, it's so embarrassing. What if someone sees me in Target? Because I was really trying to rich girl it.
Right.
And she was like, well, then they're also in Target. And so I say to thee, that's the point of Grindr. Everyone is sending naked pictures. That's why you're on Grindr. So there shouldn't be any shame in that. But also, like Al's saying, you could easily say you sent somebody else's nudes.
Absolutely.
Easily.
And how could you even tell that story if you're talking to somebody that has some familiarity with Grindr because they're on it or whatever? You saying, I saw somebody that we know in our community on there. They'd be like, okay. And they sent me naked pictures. They'd be like, oh, it's not even, it wouldn't even be a good story. So, yeah, it's just like,
there's like no.
Yeah.
I think you want to know what the story is? The person that's on Grindr that's like in a turtleneck and fucking khakis in all their pictures, like The Rock. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why that's the outfit I picked out. There's no gay man that wears that. But you know, like that person is the embarrassment to the site. Get the fuck off this site. This is what the site's for.
But somebody might be into it. That's like a professor look. There's got to be a professor.
No. Grindr, you show the dick and ass 100% of the time. That's just what you do. So I'm saying it's uncool to be the person that doesn't do that. To me.
So it's just all.
Yeah. I mean, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I can tell from my Gabers, it's everybody got stuff on there.
Okay. That's just interesting to me because I would think, what if you're a person that's interested in giving and not receiving? So then would a dick do anything for you? Or then you say that's when you get to the ass.
Right.
Okay.
Everybody's
Figure it out, Al.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't believe I have to walk you through this. I mean, I haven't.
I was like, how does it work?
There's another one. It's not just Grindr. It's something else, and I always call it Paw Patrol, but that's not what it's. It's something with the daddies and the.
Is it with bears?
Something.
Bears, otters.
Fuck, I can't. Jay's gonna kill me. I can't remember what it's called. But that one too is like, this penis is located 14 feet from you. Like they're like, because he can tell. He knows this one neighbor of ours that's good looking, and he like tried to kiki with him, and the guy ghosted him. But he's like, I see him walking his dog all the time. Like I know he thought it'd be really convenient. Like it's right there.
That is super. In that Hinge or something?
No.
Which
it's whatever I keep calling Paw Patrol. What the fuck is it called?
Paw Patrol. Okay, I don't think it's that, but I don't think that that's a good idea. In terms of stalking issues, but I don't know.
I hear ya. Hold on. We're gonna just see if Jay answers really quick. I don't know if he will. He's probably at work. We can edit it out if it doesn't sound good.
No, it's great. I like the reality of it.
Hello?
Hi, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm recording the podcast, and okay, first of all, what is the real name for Paw Patrol?
Paw Patrol Scruff.
Scruff. Okay.
I've heard of that.
And then my other question is, okay, everyone. So somebody wrote in to say that they were embarrassed because they sent dick pics via Grindr to a classmate, and then that they don't know who it is, and that person then deleted and blocked them. And I said, doesn't everyone on Grindr send dick or ass pics? Isn't that like you'd be weird not to?
Yeah. Not only do you send them, like you already have them loaded up.
Mm-hmm.
So you can literally just unlock them for people.
Oh, that makes so much sense. Okay.
So you can have in a Grindr, you can have multiple accounts of you could have two accounts, one with inappropriate and one with appropriate. So I have to because my son's in the group. So I guess he's got his headphones on, so he can't hear me anyway. So.
Okay.
And then with Scruff, it's just one, but you just can unlock it, and then you can have whatever pics you want in there, right?
But then isn't Scruff the one that's there's a cock 28 feet from you? Doesn't it tell you exactly?
Both of them tell that.
Both of them, okay.
If there was somebody 516 feet, it's that person was 516 feet away. But Scruff is more for bears and otters and hairy people. And literally the thing is a paw, which is
that's why I got okay. Thank you.
Grindr is anybody.
Got it.
Oh, is there one that's the most promiscuous?
Almost.
No, so I think Grindr is everybody, and then Scruff would be everybody. Well, sorry, it's more like a subset.
Right? I see.
So, but everybody, twins, everybody's on Grindr. It's just the most popular one.
Okay, I'm
most promiscuous. No, I think they're both.
They're both very right.
Well, I guess you don't need to have anything if that's no.
Okay. I love you. Tell Melanie I say hi.
Okay.
And Heather. Bye. Okay, so I knew I always fuck that up.
No, you were
Scruff
pretty.
It. So that's why there's a paw symbol, and I kept calling it Paw Patrol, which is apparently a children's cartoon.
Yeah, you should not mix those up.
I know. So okay, but I was right about everyone's got dick and ass. So so I get it. So you can unlock. You already have a nicely shot of your penis or ass, and then you can be I like this guy, let me unlock it. This guy didn't do anything wrong.
No, he's where he should be.
Yeah.
Because when we go, hey, you're posting these on Facebook and my grandmother can see, that's wrong. When you put them in the right place. Now, that's literally the definition of sex shaming. Now, really quickly, before we go, because I just have to ask you this because this just came up. The one thing I really envy and wish there'd be more of in the cis community, whatever, is just I love how the people in the LGBTQ community identify themselves up front in terms of I'm an otter, I'm a bottom, I'm a masculine sub, whatever. But it's so descriptive that people kind of know what they're getting into. Whereas with the cis community, there's some kind of fake romanticism about just like, we'll find out. If you like your hair pulled in bed, Corinne, great. I like to do that. If I try it and I miss, I'm going to lose my career and my kids. We'll just throw it in the air. And it's just like, it's so weird. So I don't know. Why don't we do that?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I am pretty upfront, like just with who I am in general, right? Like, right. I don't like dogs. I don't want to meet your dog. I don't care if you have a dog. He's not coming over here. Control your dog when I'm at your house. Like, I don't know, like, you know, things that people are hesitant maybe to present, especially in Colorado. I'm usually pretty upfront about, you know,
I would say you're the rare exception.
Yeah, I am.
I don't think that many.
Well, I'm also not doing very well.
No.
I mean, I'm single in these streets and have been for some time, so it's not like this is working for me.
That's a conversation for another pod. Unfortunately, we have to wrap it up. But, Corinne, this is just one of my favorites. I mean, just to come full circle on the gummies. We came full circle on.
I can't believe you decided to review the thing that burned my asshole.
Old Weeping Foot. Like, we closed a lot of loose ends here. Yes, we're like the Good mafia. Stuff. Anybody that saw it, they got to be taken care of. And we closed a lot of loops. And with that, we're going to have to close the show, but not before we find out, Corinne, how do we find you and the show?
Yeah. So I really don't care about me. Just go, please rate and review the show, and also go to our Instagram. I upload tons of stuff there.
Yes.
There's really, really fun stuff, and Al's been making some captions.
Yes.
We're really getting involved, and if you have ideas and you want to send us stuff besides emails, you can send anything you want to my safe word is more advice @gmail.com. I just feel like I told them to send us dick pics.
Yeah, and hey, look, whatever you send us, we might not be able to post it, but we'll write you back and be like, hey, all right.
Yeah.
Hey, you've been blessed, but dude, I can see the shadow on the wall. Do better. You know what I'm saying? Like, get your lighting right, get your game right, get your angle right if you're going to come right on the show.
Trim that up. Yeah.
And with that said, guys, remember to keep your head above water.
And just keep swimming.